Welcome to the mall in Columbia, year 2020. Welcome to World 2.0, or as I like to call it, the new now. As you saw in the opening scenes with the music, it is quite eerie here in Columbia, Maryland. In Howard County, Maryland, I am a 40-year native of the county. Growing up in Fulton, Maryland back in the 1970s, this was the place to be. This is where everybody went. This is where you wanted to be on the weekends or for shopping or hanging out with friends after school. You name it, the mall in Columbia was the place to be. In fact, as a kid growing up in the 70s, we really, living on a farm, never made it to the big city of Columbia, but my friend Frankie Walker did. On occasion, his sisters would take him to the mall in Columbia, and he would call me up and say, hey, if you can make it over here, we're heading to the mall, if you can go. I'd ask my parents for permission, understandable and important. I'd then scoop up all the change I had in my drawer, put it in my pocket, and we would head to the mall in Columbia. And we would go up to the second floor to the McDonald's. And I would take my coins out, put them on the counter, and hope that I had enough coins to buy a Big Mac. Because I saw it on television, and that's what I wanted, a Big Mac from McDonald's at the mall in Columbia. I remember taking that thing in my hands. It was big, and I savored every single bite of that Big Mac. Now, the more important part of the Big Mac was the styrofoam container. Inappropriate back then in the 70s, not really. Now for sure, nobody has styrofoam, but I would take that styrofoam container, I would take it home to my house, I would wash it off in the sink and put it on my bureau, cut a hole in the top, and that would become my piggy bank. And my brothers and sisters would come into my room and see, where'd you get the Big Mac? Where'd you get the styrofoam container? Where'd you get that? And I'd be like, Frankie Walker and her sisters took me to the mall. And I was the envy of the family at that time. Boy, since the 70s, a lot of things have changed, and the economies that we have in America have slowly but surely evolved. And as we go through this discussion, as the mall in Columbia as a backdrop, we're going to be talking about the three different economies that exist. One is called the price economy, the second is called the experience economy, and the third is called the convenience economy. And back in the 70s, when you went to McDonald's, it was price appropriate. The experience was pretty good, and the convenience of it, if you went through the drive-thru, was there. So McDonald's had a good model that balanced price, experience, and convenience. But as we've come from the 70s up to 2020, I'm going to take you on a journey of how those three economies have shifted and changed and even accelerated now in the new now, in World 2.0, in the world post-COVID-19. I look forward to having you join me on this journey. As you see, panning through the parking lot, boy, it's mighty eerie and mighty empty. In fact, if you look back 10 years ago, malls throughout America have been slowly but surely dying. The retail space, the retail experience, the way that people shop, the way that people buy has been changing over time. This behind me is Lord & Taylor. Wasn't here when I was a kid. In fact, what was here as a kid as a staple was Sears. When I was a kid growing up in Australia, we loved to get the Sears catalog. That Sears catalog was our way of having a convenience economy. We would rifle through the Sears catalog, circle which things that we wanted Santa to bring back for us, and then on a Mac flight flying from the United States to Australia, Santa Claus would deliver all the toys for all the kids who were Army or military brats living in Australia, ourselves being one of them. So that convenience economy of mail order items has been going on for quite some time. Into the 80s and into the 90s, it turned into online ordering. And as we moved through the 90s and into 2000, as the generation and the demographics started to age out and the younger generation came in, a lot of them didn't want to experience this type of a retail environment. They're very comfortable going online and having things shipped to them. And some of the leaders and the innovators of the retail space started to be able to push their products online. It used to be an REI was here. LL Bean was here at the Columbia Mall. Neither of them exist anymore. They all got ahead of the game, innovated their management of retail, and moved it all online. Some of the laggards, some of the late adapters, some of the late majority folks are still barely hanging on, and that's not the case anymore. So the price economy changed in the down economy of 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11. Most folks migrated over to the price economy. They look for things that are of value. And as we came out of that recession into 2012, 13, 14, and 15, people started to move into the experience economy, meaning I'm willing to spend more money on a better experience, and I want to be able to make sure that it also has a sense of convenience. Following me so far? Those three economies have always been in the American economy, and it depended upon the economy of America, actually depended upon which of the economies had the most weight or the most interest. And as Lord & Taylor and Macy's and a lot of other the retailers, Sears, by the way, is gone now, they're slowly but surely moving towards that convenience economy where about 50% of the retail that people buy is bought online. Amazon has been ahead of the game for quite some time. And then came COVID, and the virus changed everything. We've gone from the price economy back when to the experience economy for the last roughly 10 years or so, and the virus has accelerated everybody over to the convenience economy. Stores, businesses, retail or not, all had to figure out how do we adapt and change to World 2.0 and to the new now and meet the customer at their level of expectation. It is now the convenience economy that drives America, and I think a lot of us are wondering, will it go back to the old way? And as we pick up in our next segment, the answer is no. I feel that we've shifted to the convenience economy, and what people are looking for is not just convenience, they want the experience along with the convenience. And when we pick back up, we're going to be talking in more detail about examples of businesses that are really doing well, managing or mastering that bridge between the experience economy and the convenience economy that the customers are now forced to have based on the virus that we're all up against. I'll see you around the corner. As we finish up the story of the three economies here at the mall in Columbia and Howard County, Maryland, we're looking at World 2.0, the new now. And over my shoulder, you'll see the Cheesecake Factory. Right behind me is AMC Theater, and over my left shoulder to your right is the Shake Shack. All three of these are wonderful examples of where these businesses have evolved based on this new economy. Cheesecake Factory, quite frankly, has been doing curbside pickup for quite some time. They were innovators and ahead of the game. So if you wanted to, from a convenience standpoint, pick up a nice Cheesecake Factory dinner and bring it home, have at it. That worked out great. So when the economy shifted under COVID, it really wasn't that difficult for them to be able to deal with it. Granted, they probably had more curbside pickup happening, but their systems were already in place. That's an easy fix. Now, Shake Shack, on the other hand, if you wanted to have a bite to eat, you'd have to go in, sit down, and eat. And now they've had to migrate to a curbside-only environment. So their ramp-up time to react to the COVID issue was a little bit longer. And now what they're doing is people who want Shake Shack for themselves to pick up and bring back to their offices around here in Columbia or possibly home, swing by, curbside pickup, order online, mobile app, all done. Starbucks has been doing mobile app. Starbucks has been doing drive-through. Cheesecake Factory. There have been so many other businesses that have been doing this for quite some time. It really isn't groundbreaking. Those innovators now are ahead of everyone, but others are actually catching up. And then we have the AMC Theater. Behind me, they're boarding up the AMC Theater. Now, I don't know for sure what the reasons are. Boy, would it be absolutely tragic if it was boarding it up for good, but I don't think that's the case. I think they realize people aren't going to be coming for quite some time, so let's go ahead and protect the asset and keep it the way that it is. But it is somewhat of a soothsaying, unfortunate look to the future if that's the case. And let's explain why. Years ago, Netflix came out. Before Netflix, what did we have? Blockbuster, Hollywood Video. You could drive up, pick up a movie, put it in your car, go home, watch a movie at home. We like that. And then we do like also the experience of going to the movie theater. Ben and I, when we went to see Transformers, the first one, a big bucket of popcorn, buttered for sure. There's nothing better than having a great blockbuster Hollywood movie on IMAX. So that experience is wonderful. Probably won't be replaced, but right now it's on hold because of social distancing and the issues that we're all up against. So what happened is that those innovators of Netflix are now seeing a large groundswell of people subscribing to Netflix and actually watching movies, and I am guilty of it just as everyone else. We've spent more time at home in the last 2 months than I have in the last 2 years. We've watched more movies, we've had more dinners at home, and I gotta tell you, I like it. I think this coronavirus has reestablished core values of families. They're understanding the value of quality time at home. They're understanding the value of a staycation, if you will. I don't think that's going to change. When the time comes and these stores open back up and people are able to go back into the retail environment, back into restaurants, back into travel and airlines and whatnot, and we hope and pray that that happens quickly for all businesses that are negatively affected by this, I feel that there will still be a latent expectation of the convenience economy. We've accelerated to the convenience economy during this coronavirus, and I think that we're not going to all go all the way back to the way that it was as described earlier. Let me give you an example of a company that I'm working with that does a great job of balancing them both. The experience economy with the convenience economy. The Reston Farm Garden Market is well known for many things, but one is their apple pies. People around the area love their apple pies, would stop by and buy them at the garden market and take them home and eat them. Now, with COVID and social distancing, people are now migrating online. They set up an online platform, people can order them online and then come and have them delivered to them at their car. Curbside pickup, they adapted very well. However, that apple pie has got quite a reputation, and a homeowner called because they saw online that there weren't any left, called Lowell and said, I want an apple pie because it's my son's birthday. And when I asked him what did he want for his birthday, his cake was an apple pie from Reston Farm Garden Market. So she called Lowell begging that she could possibly pick up an apple pie and make her son's 12th birthday awesome. Lowell, being the awesome guy that he is, said absolutely, went and baked it himself, which is cool. And one step further, had a card written out to the kid, happy birthday from all of us at Reston Farm Garden Market, and all the staff signed it. And when they came to pick it up at the curbside, not only did they get the apple pie, they went the extra mile. There's the convenience economy. They actually had a nice card signed by all the people at the Farmers Garden Market. It's just a really great story of balancing the expectations of the experience economy with the expectations of the convenience economy. So my challenge to you moving forward in 2020 into 2021 is, how are you able to figure out to drive the best world-class experience that our customers deserve and demand, while at the same time meeting them at their level, which is in the new convenience economy? The companies, associations, the folks that are able to manage that will actually find themselves accelerating into the future and doing better than the competition, who is going to hope that it's going to all come back to the way that it was and normalcy will return. Look at me when I tell you, it will never be normal again. It will never be normal again. This is World 2.0. This is the new now. And those that understand that, adapt and drive and accelerate towards the convenience economy while still never giving up the experience, are going to find themselves having a winning business model. I referenced earlier Sears and the Columbia Mall. You know where Sears is? Over where the main event actually is. That used to be Sears and Roebuck in 1970 when you would come to the Columbia Mall. And I would enter through those main doors and go to the McDonald's in the Columbia Mall. Sears, as we know, has become a dinosaur and is now out of business. They struggled, they went bankrupt. They did try online, it didn't work out for them. Their business model wouldn't survive, and it's now a main event entertainment center. They reconfigured their space, figured out how do we make the space better at the Columbia Mall to be able to serve the needs of the customers. Family time, coming out, having fun, all made sense, and then everything changed with COVID. This will come back, I promise that it will. But what we're also seeing, and my wife Suni and I over the weekend started looking at what RVs might look like. How do we take our family, how do we take our time with our family, and how do we make something that's going to be enjoyable for us? And when I was talking to the RV sales guy, he said sales are through the roof. It's amazing. People are now finding the things that matter to them more by the issues that we're up against. So as I've said before in the Build Back Better, there are lessons and blessings that come along with everything that comes our way. And those that are able to embrace those and move their businesses and their lives forward based on that always do well and usually do better than most. So I challenge you in your business to find out how that delicate balance will take place. One last thing, they've refigured this space as our business is coming back to work. Workspaces are now being changed. How do we be able to social distance? How many plexiglasses are going to be between you and your employees? Staggered onboarding, staggered folks working shifts that are different. There's a lot of things that were changing, and that made me change as well. my training, workshops, and all are now moving to John Kennedy Workspace. Everything that you will ever need in training, in understanding, in leadership development, teamwork, customer service, sales, webinars, workshops, you can all find at the John Kennedy Workspace. Coming soon, just like they used to say at the AMC Theater, and I hope and God pray that they'll be able to say it again soon. So I'll see you in my workspace sometime soon. God bless and take care.